nabantayan ka ng block, yun yung magiging problema. So, kanila advantage talaga yung mga mabababang sets.
So those low fast sets ang binabanggit nitong si Mela. They set up to the open side. The cross-court kill works again for Tamamilang. I've been mentioning his name consistently. It's no surprise.
He's feeling it in this game.
Showing a lot of heart, a lot of intensity.
And if you take a look at the score, hindi lumalayo itong dalawang, yung scores ng dalawang teams.
Walang bumibitaw. Sabi nga ng iba nating mga kasama sa broadcast team. But that hit, he was quite under the ball there. Talking about Team Vietnam.
But
so
there's a violation, I think, sa side ng Indonesia.
So that's a freebie. Parang yung coach ng Indonesia was signaling to slow down, just keep calm.
Personally, I think mas meron pang rivalry itong Vietnam and Indonesia as compared to
Thailand.
any of both teams against Thailand. Kasi sila talaga yung nagpapalitan lang dun sa final slot every SEA Games against Thailand.
Yeah, but what's interesting though, Mela, is if you look at Team Indonesia, their history is quite heavy when it comes to men's volleyball. Parang legacy na ang tinatawag mo dyan. Consistently, every year, they did not miss a medal finish except in 2001.
And if we, take a look at the history of Vietnam naman, they are yet to win a gold medal dito sa SEA Games men's volleyball. So, ito nakikita natin talagang they're really taking this game seriously, and maybe they're really looking forward to get that first gold medal this year.
Though, if you look at the trend of this Vietnam squad, it seems like there's a sign that they're starting to beef up their lineup. They're starting to have that program. As they go to a setup, they go back row, denied there by the blockers of Team Indonesia, Sigit and Yuda, if I'm not mistaken.
All eyes on the captain. 2-1, double block from Indonesia. Nabantayan ng mabuti yung atake na yun ni 2-1.
We saw our first referee, Pawagit from Thailand. Serve now, coming from Team Indonesia, picked up there by Vietnam. They go up to the open side. On the other side, picked up there by Yuda. They go to a back row hit, and a strong hit at that, coming from Rivan. That brings
At the second
Team
technical
Indonesia
timeout,
ahead
the
now
score
by
16
2
to 14
points.
in favor of Indonesia.
Leading after that first set scrubble. So we'll see what happens when we return here on the SEA Games 2019.
End of the second technical timeout.
Back here inside the Phil Sports Arena, we saw some members of Team Thailand who just won earlier. Right now we have some fans from Team Indonesia, and this one we have other teams just observing early on because it's a heated matchup that we have here between Vietnam and Indonesia as Tamamilang catches up on that. Hinabol denied there by the middle blocker of Team Vietnam. That was Huang.
Yeah, great save there by Indonesia. However, nabantayan na mabuti ito ni Bu Nga Huang from Vietnam.
Right now we have the setter, Pan, serving. Picked up there by Indonesia. They go to a quick, nice pancake coming from Vietnam. Denied there was the hit from the open side. Indonesia getting back at point. Let's look at that again.
Using the hands of the blockers to swipe it off, swipe it out. Easy point for
Vietnam rather. Going straight to the antenna. Vietnam ties it easily after that technical timeout, Mela.
Timeout to Indonesia.
speaking of timeouts, we're going to a timeout of Team Indonesia. And ito, unlike the games that we have, we don't get to hear what they're saying.
Yeah.
So, but I will ask you as the analyst, what can you say is the problem of Team Indonesia? Because they just rallied a lot of points. Nanguna sila 2 points ahead right before our second technical timeout. Tapos parang ito, hinabol sila ng Team Vietnam mabilis.
I think even when Indonesia got to the second technical timeout first, nagbigay din yun ng parang breather sa Team Vietnam. They were able to regroup and refocus and they got 2 straight points from that timeout.
And that probably just gives an alarm to the head coach of Team Indonesia, talking about Coach Lee Chiu Tiang.
And you could see the respect also. Kahit 2 points lang yung hinabol ng Vietnam, nag-timeout na agad itong coach ng Indonesia.
Pero ito, mabilis bumawi ang Team Indonesia with that hit coming from Randu. Vietnam squad looking quite unhappy but dancing a bit on the sidelines.
Relaxed pa naman sila.
Stretching their joints probably. Serve coming from Indonesia. Miscommunication on the side of Vietnam.
No one from the Vietnam
Yes.
team. There was a confusion on the side of Vietnam kasi medyo overball na yung reception. So hinabol lang nitong setter. But apparently walang nakapag-over nun.
Masasabi mong may pagkabukad din eh.
Oo. Hinabol lang eh. But ito may bawi agad. Team captain number 14, 2-1. Facing right, hitting left. Great angle there. An off the block hit.
You'd be impressed, no? His body language seemed like he was going cross-court.
Yeah.
And then he suddenly kumabig eh. Pupunta sa down the line.
And nakita niya rin kasi na single block lang. So he took
There.
advantage of that.
Another over ball coming from Team Vietnam. That's a freebie for Indonesia. Indonesia back to a 2-point advantage. You see their captain of Team Vietnam, Juan, on your screens.
So far in this game, Vietnam has been banking on their attacks. Wala pa tayo masyado nakikitang blocks from them. Pero ito namang Indonesia, more on mga blocks and check, tapos dun sila kuma-counter attack.
So yun yung mga key factors towards what's happening in our scoreboard as we see this pancake save coming from the libero of
Timeout, Vietnam.
Indonesia, Rakha. And that last play just leads to this Vietnamese timeout because Indonesia bumawi agad.
Oo.
And umangat agad ng 2 points. Mela, so far, what were the changes after the timeout of Coach Lee Chiu Tiang of Team Indonesia?
Well, obviously, after that timeout, medyo mas nagising lang talaga sila. They were able to pass better. Kaya yung mga setups nila has been very efficient for them the last 2 points.
As we see
Mga staff natin.
yung mga kababayan natin, our
Sa SEA
brave
Games.
and helpful volunteers. SEA Games, maraming salamat at mabuhay po kayo sa pagsuporta sa amin at sa ating lahat as we host the 30th Southeast Asian Games. Serve there, doesn't cross for Sigit of Indonesia.
That timeout worked well for the coach of Vietnam, breaking the
Substitution
momentum
for
of
Vietnam.
Indonesia.
Number 18 out, number 9, Nguyen Van Hook in.
So there's a substitution on the side of Team Vietnam. They're putting in a Hook, number 9, to serve. So Nguyen Van Hook, number 9, serve. Set up there. They go to the open side to Tamalilang going off the block. Point goes to side of Team Indonesia.
Tamamila really making some noise here in this game. Siya rin talaga yung momentum breaker ng Vietnam. When they need a point, they go to Tamamilang.
And it seems like he is the go-to player. So let's see how the game progresses as that serve comes from Randu. Tip there coming from Team Vietnam. That works for Thieu. Or rather, that doesn't work for Thieu because it sails wide. There's too much space on that hit.
Parang nagkalituhan din sila on that setup. I don't know if that was really meant for him. Pero pumasok din kasi ng second tempo yung open hitter ng Vietnam.
Those are the things that they have to be conscious of, especially if you're facing an Indonesian team that seems to be fired up right now. Vietnam behind by 3 points as number 8, Khan, serves, or rather number 14, Tikan pa.
Buti nahabol sa 8 seconds.
Set up there, they go to the open side, another point for Tama Milang.
Again, so far for Indonesia, yung mga open hits nila have been always angled to the cross-court side. So far, wala pa tayong nakikitang down the line. So, I think Vietnam has to adjust. They need to really anticipate balls going majority doon sa side ng cross-court.
So far, we've been noticing it's going towards zone 1, right?
Zone 5
and zone 1. Kasi pag yung opposite naman. So, they're really going for those corners.
Oo, baka narinig ako ni Sigit kasi kanina sabi ko puro cross-court. Eto naman din down the line niya.
Variation.
Yeah, however, outside yung atake niya na yun.
Substitution for Vietnam. Number 2 out, number 10, Ding Van Tu in.
So, Vietnam starting to find some changes here, trying to find their group.
The
setter, because it's a 3-point lead for Team Indonesia now.
Again, the backline attack for Indonesia from that opposite side have been working wonders for their team. Ang taas din talaga kasi ng contact nitong Nerivan. He can bring it on to any angle, kaya nahihirapan din talaga yung defenders to guard his attack.
It's quite a high leaper there.
Tsaka yung contact ay mataas.
The reach of Irvan, looking at our statistics here.
Again,
same attack for Tran Chu. Same result, outside din.
Indonesia takes set number 1, 25-20.
That seals it for Indonesia.
It's a 342 for Irvan, and we'll go to a timeout. Bakit? Kuya Jet, di ka makuha yung ano? Tapos na. Gap na sa agad? We continue our volleyball coverage here. Vietnam versus Indonesia. Right after that set one, here are the statistics. Mela, what can you say about the performance of these two squads?
Again, during the set, I highlighted yung blocks ng Indonesia. Kahit hindi siya kill blocks, they had 3 kill blocks in the first set. Pero kahit hindi siya kill blocks, na-check talaga nila yung mga atake ng Vietnam, and they are able to counter-attack from those checks. Kaya naman lamang din sila in terms of attacks. And almost sa lahat, lamang sila, and although equal lang yung kanilang service error, it still haunt them sa dulo kasi ito yung 4 service errors ng Vietnam, 5 lang din yung difference ng kanilang score, final scores in set 1. So talagang it was very costly for them.
So there's a lot of things that happened in that first set. We've noticed there was a quite a slow start on the side of Team Indonesia, tapos biglang rumatsyada nung dulong bahagi ng set number 1. And looking at the aces department, Vietnam gave up a lot of freebies from the service errors.
So
In
parang
the
yung
early part
service
of-
ng Indonesia, it's like ace or error. Kaya rin siguro sila nagtatapon ng maraming bola from the service line. It's because their goal is to really load on their serves. Kaya nagkaroon din sila ng dalawang aces kontra sa 0 ng service aces ng Vietnam.
we see our kababayans and the spectators inside the court. And still have a few more seconds before we start set number 2. But looking at that set number 1, what are your key highlights or ano masasabi mong parang dapat nating pagtuunan ng pansin dito sa dalawang koponan na ito?
Well, Indonesia just have to maintain their composure kasi we saw na they were really focused even when Vietnam was, getting close to their scores or there were really mga times na nalamangan din sila. Makikita mo na they always regroup and refocus right away. And the part naman of Vietnam, I think more on the technical part kasi okay naman yung ginagalaw nila pero nagko-collapse sila. So they just need to stabilize their receives and defense also kasi wala pa tayong nakikita masyadong combination plays sa kanila unlike the combination plays we saw from Indonesia.
As we saw earlier, some members of Team Thailand who earlier came back from a first set loss against Team Singapore, bumawi agad ng 3 straight sets.
Sabi ko ng Thailand, sino na naman kayang kalaban namin dito sa dalawang teams? But
And,
it's still
yeah.
so early to tell.
Yes, and we saw some finger pointing as to probably they're doing their early scouting report, of course, trying to
For
prepare for the
sure.
SEA Games. Of course, looking at Team Thailand, they're at Pool A, pero ito kasi yung mga pwede nilang mag-crossover in Pool B. As we start our second set, Team Indonesia's Randu on your screens. Going up against Wang, of course.
We're still looking at the same faces for both teams. Their coaches taking up with their lineups from the first set, going to the second set.
And it seems like if you're looking at these two squads, it's really about a lot of creativity when it comes to the plays, and that would depend on their setters. As we saw, Vietnam starting it off early with a hit from their captain.
Again, the team captain of Vietnam, 2-1 rallying his team at makikita natin yung kaninang ginawa niya na looking right and then hitting left has been very effective for him. Yun na naman ginawa niya to get the first point for his team.
Jump serve there coming from Team Vietnam. Trying to answer back and successfully doing so is Indonesia's Randu.
Ito yung sinasabi natin na hindi natin nakikita sa Vietnam na kanina pa ginagawa ng Indonesia, these combination plays, and they really are utilizing their middle blockers sa atake. So, ngayon, kanina pala nung first set, hindi rin natin nakita yung effective plays. Ayan, puro outside yung nagiging attacks ng mga middles ng Vietnam. So, they have to adjust on their angles, and you wanna see it here in the second set.
Would you say that Team Indonesia's block is pressed too hardly on the side of Vietnam, that they have to be they're trying to be creative with their hits?
Well, definitely the blocking of Indonesia has been intimidating for Vietnam because nakikita nga natin kanina pa outside, kahit magandang setup,
Yung iwas
outside, oo.
Subok
So,
umiwas.
definitely na-intimidate din yung mga attackers nitong Vietnam.
As we look at this replay setup job coming from Vietnam stand, going to that back set, Manapilita Corrales, yung pagbali ng likod.
Opposite setting. Kung nasan yung receive na side, babato mo sa kabila.
And great point there. Yan din yung nakakalito minsan no?
Oo.
When you're on the other side of the court, when you have a setter who's really good with opposite
Yes.
setting.
Kasi definitely may blocker na malilate eh. Sobrang, in a way, nakaka-pressure lang din sa attacker. Kasi pag single block na, tapos like nangyari dito kay 2-1 kanina, not over yung palo niya.
And now, Vietnam starting it off hot with some attack points as Indonesia will try to answer back, and they do with Tamamilang.
And that was a great anticipation by the blocker of Vietnam, 2-1. Pero the attack of Tamamilang was too strong. So, nakabuka yung block nitong ni 2-1 kahit nakatapat na siya doon. Kaya lumusot
There's
yung
that
atake.
space that you're
Oo,
mentioning,
yeah.
right in front of the blockers. Great serve there coming from Indonesia. They go to the open side on the side of Vietnam.
Good coverage by the libero.
From Hawk. So ito yung interesting change, no? Earlier, Hawk was inserted to serve for their middle blocker, Wang. But right now, he's playing the open hitter. So there's these adjustments that are starting early for these two squads as we see the team captain of Team Indonesia, Rizar. Set up there, they go to Tamamilang. Tamamilang denied by the double block.
Ayan, at this time, medyo nababantayan na. Double block on Tamamilang, especially because he has been the name we've been hearing all throughout the first set.
Yeah. I can't count anymore how many times I've mentioned his name. And don't you like the celebration of Team Vietnam? It just
Yes.
reminds you of how we Filipinos also celebrate after a point.
Umiikot
Oh,
eh,
may
no?
takbo eh. But Vietnam's serve goes outside again. Those are some things that you've mentioned earlier na dapat nilang bantayan.
Mahirap din kasi yung ginagawa nila na jump serve na spin. You really have to make sure that you serve it long para pumasok. Pero sometimes the tendency is you serve it too long.
Now Rivan of Team Indonesia will serve. That is too low and goes straight to the net.
So dalawang service errors from two jump servers na spin. Yung kanina too long and then this one naman, the one I'm pointing out is kailangan you make sure na long pa siya, isa-serve para umover. Kaya kapag medyo what we call it, baon, it doesn't go over the net.
Because there's that gigil factor na gusto mong baunin, patusok.
Baba,
Oo, patusok na jump
and another
serve.
one, from Lok.
Because
Long naman.
Yeah, because when we talk about jump serves, di ba, syempre, there's a lot of calculation there na pinapractice mo. Ikaw, I've seen you probably a very few times trying to do it.
In my second year, required kami before. And it was really challenging kasi nakakapagod, especially when you do it every time na magsiserve ka. Tapos, yung ball control pa. So, kailangan talaga yung ball control when you do jump serves. It's really, it's crucial.
And speaking of the ball, they're currently using the newest FIVB
Oo nga eh.
ball. And I've heard from
Magaan.
some sources, magaan nga daw,
Yes.
magaan. And you yourself, you've mentioned this to me earlier, no, nahawakan mo siya, it's a bit lighter. So probably, if they're not used to using it yet, then that's part of the adjustments. As Vietnam gets one over Indonesia, 7-6.
This was actually the same story as the first set. Vietnam leading and then nagkaroon lang ng streak of points itong Indonesia. That's why they were able to go to the technical timeout.
So we now see Vietnam's number 5-2 serving, picked up there by Delbero. They go to a quick, trying to adjust there, let's see, but the point is awarded to the side of Team Vietnam. Vietnam goes into
At
our
the set's first technical timeout, the score is
They're
8-6,
up by 2
Vietnam with the
over
lead.
Indonesia. Don't go away, we'll be back after the short break. Back here in
And
the
the first
coverage
technical
of the
timeout.
30th Southeast Asian Games. We have some members of the Indonesian delegation cheering up their squad, but of course we also have our kababayans and kapamilyas inside the court, of course, preparing for the upcoming match of Team Pilipinas. After this, going up against Cambodia. But we continue our ball game here as they go to Team Indonesia's number 12, Rivan, with a back row attack.
Again, kanina si Tamamilang itong
maingay.
Tuloy-tuloy umaatake, and we haven't seen that opposite back row attack in a while. And again, ginawa na naman nitong ni Zar.
Serve and a hit there coming from the captain of Team Vietnam, or rather their middle blocker, Huang. That soft tip, but it's very effective.
Kanina, they tried it twice, although it sailed out. Pero ngayon, we've seen, I think, 2 points from their middle attacks. And that's good. That's the adjustment that they had to make coming in the second set.
Vietnam now serves. They go up to the open side for Team Indonesia. That was Sigit.
Combination attack again from the Team Indonesia. And we can see here, itong Vietnam, they attempted a triple block. Nagpatong na yung dalawa, yung open hitter at yung middle blocker. But then again, Tamamilang too strong on that attack.
That was a great combination for Indonesia. On the other side, they go to number 12, Rivan, who scores. Now it's Rivan who's making some noise for Team Indonesia.
Like we said kanina nga, na-notice natin na babantayan na si Tamamilang. Now Rivan stepping up to get some load off Tamamilang. And to note naman sa Vietnam, we've seen a running attack the first time we saw in this game from their team. So ngayon kailangan na talaga nilang i-utilize yung mga iba pa nilang plays.
As Vietnam hits the cross court on the other side, Indonesia answers with an overball that sails out for
No
number
check,
3. No check for Sigit.
But he's like requesting the coach to make a challenge. Let's see if the coach complies.
There's a challenge on the call by
Yes,
Indonesia.
there is a challenge.
Block touch.
First challenge in this match.
Let's wait as to what. But from our angle, does it feel like there is a touch?
It's hard to tell kasi ang taas talaga ng dinaan ng bola. So sometimes it's just a matter of konting galaw ng daliri, which is, hard to tell from our angle.
Those split-second movements that our challenge
kuko
call.
eh.
Oo. Malay mo, di ba? Any touch of the ball Plus, mas magaan yung bola. So there's a lot of factors, a lot of physics involved probably.
Pero since Ardian insisted, maybe he heard
Or he
block
saw,
touch.
diba? Sometimes you would trust the point of view of your player.
Kasi kapag nag-iba yung tunog, alam na yan ng player.
Kasi minsan hindi lagi sa direction. Well, in the men's division, they always say na pag nag-iba yung direction ng bola, may touch yan. Pero we'll never know those milliseconds, milli-moments that we don't get to catch on cam.
One of the things I learned dito sa, ayan, let's see muna kung block touch
Let's
ba.
look at the video challenge here. Our board. Zooming in. Oh, meron.
Ito yung sinasabi natin, yung konting galaw lang ng daliri, di ba? Pero kung kanina sa play, it was hard for us to tell because
Ladies and
the
gentlemen, the
clearance of the
challenge
ball
was
was really
successful.
way up. But thanks to our challenge system, di ba, nakuha ng Indonesia yung point na yun.
So, saktong-sakto ang pagtawag doon ng challenge. As play continues, point going to Team Indonesia. Ito, no unsure moments there. Vietnam.
It's really overwhelming to see the respect of Indonesia to the team captain of Vietnam 2-1 dahil doon sa atake na yon, naka-triple block sila sa kanya, especially because he's been the one really making the damage for Vietnam.
Now we're tied at 10 for these two squads. Serve coming from Vietnam. Indonesia answers back with Sigit.
I don't know if that was, the hang time of Sigit, kaya walang na-touch yung mga blockers niya.
I think we should also credit it to the set. It was a bit
opposite
fast.
set.
Opposite set na mabilis.
Kasi kanina nung hindi slow-mo, we could see na sabay umangat yung blocker and si Rigit, pero lumusot din because of the angle as well as the hang time.
Let's see how Indonesia tries to continue this. They go cross-court, but that is out. Vietnam gets a freebie there, tied at 11.
Again, that was a great set by the setter of Indonesia, si Nizar. Kanina niya pa pinupuntirya yung opposite side nila because it has been effective for them. However, yung error na yun, parang iba lang yung tunog, parang hindi tumama sa kamay talaga ng attacker.
And we continue our ball game. Serve there coming from Team Vietnam. Indonesia goes to the opposite side and gets a score coming from Rivan.
Bumawi itong si Rivan after his error. on the same side, on the same set. And again, talagang minamaximize
Substitution
nitong
for
ni Nizar
Indonesia.
yung
Number 9
nagiging
out, number
strength ng
10
team nila
Hernanda
so far in this set.
So number 9 goes out, Yuda goes out there, and entrance of a new player, number 10, that is Zulfi. Back here, Tama Minang, who was quiet in the second set, made some noise with that cross-court kill.
And he manages to pull off a through the block hit kahit ayan nakatapat na sa setter. I mean sa blocker nitong Vietnam. Ano kayang winning weights nito ni Tamamila?
Feeling ko pag training baka sobrang bigat ng kinakabit niya mga weights, you know?
Kasi we can see kanina nga, di ba natumba pa yung blocker nitong Vietnam on his strong attack. And now it has been a 1-2 punch for Rival and Tamamilang for Indonesia. That has been the story of this set.
And right now we go to a timeout on the side of Team Vietnam because Indonesia is trailing away with a 3-point advantage, and we're seeing how the Vietnamese are trying to find their groove here in the second set compared to the first set. It's a stark difference as to how they're performing. And what else have you noticed here in the performance of Team Vietnam, Mela?
Well, kanina nung dumidikit na, we've seen them do attempts on more middle attacks as compared to their open sets. Pero ngayon medyo nawawala na naman, maybe because of the reception. Medyo they really need to bank on the receptions kasi like we saw earlier parts in this set, effective naman when they set up their middles. So they just have to really maximize them as well. Kasi bantay sarado rin talaga yung mga ano nila, open and opposite attacks.
As game continues, we had Randu there on the serve. On the other side, they set up an opposite hit. Kukunin at susungkatin. Cross court, galing sa open side. But it's too strong. That sails out for number 9 of Team Vietnam.
Again, the open hitters of Vietnam seem a little bothered because they have been checked and blocked in this game. So, nagre-result na siya sa errors on the side of Vietnam attackers. Again, misreception again. Naitawid pa rin ng team captain, and he managed to get a block from that rally.
So, Vietnam trying to find some life here.
Substitution for Vietnam. Number 2 out, number 10 Ding Van Thuyen.
Now, this was a familiar substitution that we noticed in the first set, yung pagpapalit ng setters coming from, of course, their setter who's number 2, Tan.
Again, yung decision making kasi medyo hasn't been effective for Vietnam, kaya baka nagpapalit na si coach ng
second
setters.
technical timeout, the score
That's something that they're going to work out because Indonesia is now in a 4-point advantage. Don't go away, magbabalik po kami dito sa SNA. Back here with volleyball action inside the Phil Sports Arena. We have members of our fans being flashed here, of course. Nagpapass on na ng paraphernalia for latest game. So
ready na to cheer their lungs out for the Philippines.
Hindi na nga hearts lungs na talaga.
Lungs na, for sure magsisigawan yan lahat mamaya.
I'm pretty much excited as to how Filipinos will bring in the cheerful vibe that we have in our volleyball games inside the SEA Games as well. Syempre, kaabang-abang yung mga the really cute things that our
Oo.
fans do. But ito, there's nothing cute about that. It's all just smarts and
Yeah.
power.
And again, only the bright spot for Vietnam has been their captain, 2-1. Kahit nasa back row siya, siya na rin talaga yung pinupuntahan ng setters.
Well, Tutuan has been a name that we've been mentioning since set number 1. Not as much as Tamamilang in the first set, but still, he's been the lifeblood of this Vietnam squad. Vietnam gets a freebie from Indonesia.
And we saw from that last rally, Vietnam attempted to set up middle again. Pero we haven't seen really the middle attackers na ina-attack yung bola talaga. We haven't seen them spike it.
Yeah.
So far, it has been drop balls from them.
Soft
And,
touches.
Oo, kaya nakukuha rin talaga ng defense ng Indonesia.
And that is a stark difference to the side of Team Indonesia because we notice stronger hits from Team Indonesia. We just saw number 10 of Team Indonesia, Zilfi, na kanina pa nag-iingay din. As serve comes from Indonesia. They go to a running hit. At
There you go.
yun, that changes the tempo a
Yeah.
bit for Tew.
When they spike it, talagang mataas yung chance na makakuha ng score. Kasi kanina puro drops na nadidepensahan. Pero ito, great angle. It was a single block. And finally, the substitution of the coach of Vietnam working well for them. Kasi ito, nag-iiba na yung tempo ng laro ng Vietnam so far.
Sigit gets a hit from the open side.
Yeah, again, a one-stop rally from Indonesia. Ang hirap din bantayan kasi when Vietnam focuses on a certain player, the setter of Indonesia goes to another. Parang kanina Tamamilang, sunod-sunod Tamamilang, and then sunod-sunod Rivan.
That's the advantage of having your team captain like Nizar,
As a setter.
yeah, as the setter, and he's quite young. He's 25 years old, or turning 25 soon.
Yeah, so took...
Next week.
Oh, wow. Dito siya magsa-celebrate sa
Yes.
Philippines.
Yep, December 9, so exactly a week from now.
It's probably the finals because the semifinals on December 8th.
And we don't know if they'll be there, who's going to be there yet, because it's still the first day of our competition.
It's a long way to go.
There's a lot of things and a lot of action that the SEA Games is offering here, and men's volleyball is just one of the really lucky sports that we get to see on TV.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, we have other games also being shown on our other platforms. We have weightlifting and
Gymnastics.
gymnastics also here in our set today. But looking at scoreboard, Indonesia just feeling some life from Revan. So it's just a 1-2 punch from
Yeah.
Indonesia so far. Revan or Tamamilang.
Yes. And pag nakakadikit, kanina nakadikit na 1-point disparity na lang. Pero ito, pagdating talaga ng endgame, doon
Bumibitaw.
Oo, nagpo-pull away itong Indonesia because this has been the same story like I said in the first set. Pero sa dulo talaga, lumalabas yung mga veteran savvy nitong mga Indonesia players.
At alam mo kung ano nakakatakot? They're not, Vietnam is the older team if you look at it average. But Indonesia is playing so fluid. Just like in that last play, we saw those strong blocks. Yung combination play ng Vietnam na bantayan din.
Maybe yung grassroots ng Indonesia maganda rin talaga. That's why they are very confident in fielding in young players in a very prestigious league such as the SEA Games.
Yep, and if we actually look at the lineup, all of these players are also club team members. So, talagang batak na batak sa laro.
Yes.
And if we go internationally nga, di ba, they say it's really the men's division. It's quite popular compared to our
Women.
situation.
Yeah.
Ang
Pero we're
women's-
going
We're
there.
going there,
Yeah.
with when you have Brian Bagunas, when you have Mark
Yeah.
Espejo, when you have Rana Abdilia.
And we have a couple of players being recognized internationally as
Yeah.
well.
Of course, the two names that I've mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
they played abroad, but right now, it's been exchanges of points for these two squads in the second set. If you just joined us here, first set was a similar story, but let's see if Vietnam will change things up. with their 2-point disadvantage. Let's see if they could catch up, but Indonesia just unstoppable with that last play. Let's look at that again. Nizar going up to that back row.
And
And
ito nga si Ardian, number 3 from Indonesia, has been joining the scoring of Nizar, of Tamamilang rather, and Rivan. So it's really the wing hitters that's doing the damage for Indonesia. And ito naman on that last play, finally they got another point in that middle area from that middle
Substitution
attack.
for Indonesia.
Dito sa
Number 1
Vietnam.
out and number 17, Donnie Haryono in.
okay, so we've heard that
Timeout,
Tamamilang
Indonesia.
has been brought out, and entrance of Haryono. So
Yan, siya yung pinakabata that I was telling about, Haryono Aguil.
So he was born in 2000, so he's just 19 years old, but he's already part of this national team lineup. Now, Indonesia just needs 3 points to close this out. So could this be a substitution for experience, for quality minutes inside the court?
Yeah, and it's parang nakaka-curious din malaman why the coach of Indonesia is confident to sub in yung youngest player nila doon sa highest pointer nila so far in this game. So let's see how Agil will perform in this second set.
Yep, but right now we see the members of Team Philippines, Ish Polverosa, Kim Malabunga, Mark Espejo,
Mga naka-earphones,
Oo,
naka-airpods lahat, nag-ano na
Oo.
sila, focus,
busy ah.
pre-game.
Nagka-tape na, nakatanda na sa gilid. As Indonesia continues to score from their opposite side with Revan.
And ito medyo nakaka-check na yung Vietnam. One of the few times that we see them get to check the attacks
Timeout,
of
Vietnam.
Indonesia. Pero again, Indonesia too strong.
And just another indication that Indonesia is too strong. Just a 1-point change. Pinalitan na agad. Or rather, tinime-outan na agad ng coach ng Vietnam ang kanyang koponan.
Because this score isn't impossible to, you know,
Yes.
turn around. Kayang-kaya pa yan. So, you know, timeouts are very crucial also for coaches at this point of the game. And it's not always a battle between the players. Sometimes yung mga coaches timeout talaga,
Yeah.
napakalaking impact, especially sa mga moments like the end game.
Yan yung mga sinasabing pagpihet, those last-minute
Oo.
tweaks, the last-minute changes. These could be crucial. Some players would even say that, oh, coaches' timeouts should be timed properly. Because it's a strategy. It's not just something that
Make or break
yeah,
din yan sa ano
kung
sa
kailan mo
team niya.
pinapasok.
Like that, a very effective timeout by the coach of Vietnam.
Momentum breaker.
Oo, nag-error itong Indonesia coming up from that timeout. Yung mga coaches namin before, may rules sila na sinasabi na parang hindi mo dapat itodo yung serve sa, not really na parang hinaan, but parang control it first kapag first serve mo sa game, kapag after timeout. So those two situations. And then kapag pangalawang serve mo na, doon mo na siya parang lalaksan talaga. So it often happens kapag galing timeout na nag-error.
Probably may
Yeah,
adrenaline kasi na
oo.
excited na bumalik sa laro. But right now, Indonesia set point advantage. Revan has been the name of the household in this second set. But there, you've mentioned it, the jump serve difficulties for Team Indonesia as we saw Haryano, Donnie.
Probably jitters as well from the youngest player, Agil. A service error.
They go up to the opposite side still, and Revan connects and gets that last point.
Indonesia wins set
Indonesia
number 2,
getting a
25 to
two-set
22.
advantage.
They lead this match
Revan
2 sets to
Going
none.
cross court on that last play and finding right spot there for Team Indonesia. Indonesia leads
Ladies
2 sets
and
to love.
gentlemen,
We'll
once
return
again, let's
after the short
welcome the
break.
30th Southeast Asian Games 2019 mascot, Pammy. Pammy is short for
We are back here on SNA, the coverage between the volleyball match between Vietnam and Indonesia. And we take a look at the stats of set number 2. It was a closer match between these two teams, and merong konting turnaround as we can see. The blocks lamang yung Vietnam compared to the one block of Indonesia. And they were able to get an ace, and Indonesia tallying no ace in that set. And makikita natin na they were able to adjust. However, they had some problems closing out the set, but it was definitely a closer game as compared to set number 1. And Rivan being the bright spot for Indonesia in set number 2. And let's see who else will, shine for the Indonesia team. It was Tamamilang in set number 1, Rivan in set number 2. And
but then there was an interesting addition at the tail end of that. Syempre, nandun si Donnie Haryono na binabanggit ka natin, the youngest player that they have.
But we are yet to see any parang something special kanina dahil siguro jitters pa nga. But ito naman sa side ng Vietnam, again, it's still Thu Tuan, the captain, doing the damage for his team. Wala pa siya masyadong nakakatulong since.
So, kaabang-abang kung may changes ba ang ipapasok dito ang coach ng Team Vietnam. But so far, Indonesia draws first blood.
And we notice a new player in the lineup for Vietnam, number 11, Tran Duc Hang.
So, Vietnam trying to change things over as Indonesia tries to keep on scoring. As we look at this last play, that hit goes straight to the antenna. Point goes to Indonesia. Indonesia now up by 2-0.
So we saw that error from Thu Tuan earlier. Nakita natin na pati siya medyo na iilang na rin sa blockers ng Indonesia.
And we're seeing right now number 11 for Team Vietnam. Another change that we're noticing here is the entrance of Tran Duc Han, who's just served open side for Team Indonesia. Rivan gets the point.
Again, Rivan continues to shine here for Indonesia, and it's very interesting to see na he also does quick attacks. Hindi siya super quick, but that was a very low set for a wing attacker like him.
Actually, that's what you'd notice with this Indonesia squad. They're very versatile on the side of Team Indonesia. Speaking of quick hits,
ayan na, at least.
Nabubuhayan ng konti itong Team Vietnam with that hit coming from number 18, Huang.
You're gonna have to utilize those kinds of sets and attacks more often here in the third set if they want to stay close and seal this win on the third set.
Wong Hock Vu for that serve. You go to the swipe there on the side of Team Indonesia. Trying to deny Indonesia. Trying to block there, but that is overcooked on the side of Team Vietnam. Indonesia has also injected in, has kept Haryono. Oh, that goes in.
That was it.
I saw an early celebration there on the side of Indonesia.
Wala nag-challenge eh. Great pass.
They go to that Haryono. We're talking about Donnie Haryono.
Kaya pala.
Ayan.
Kaya pala confident si coach na i-field din itong si Haryono. Dahil ito unang atake niya in this game, and makes an impact for his team already.
As you now see Puturandu on the service line. On the other side, one-handed set to a swipe on the quick. Works for Team Vietnam to the disappointment of Indonesia's number 12, Rivan. Natawa na lang siya, may konting ngisi after that. So, it's a very faster pace here that we're feeling at Mela.
Oo nga, and you can see how close the scores are always kapag umpisa ng set.
So the question is, it's about the end game, and you've been mentioning that since a while back as to how these teams would be playing their end game.
And you probably want to see the maturity of Vietnam because they really have what it takes, to win a set, to win a game. But so far, we haven't seen them close a set, and that's probably due to their lack of composure or maturity, in a way.
That was almost a regalo.
There is a
for
challenge
Team
on the play by
but
Indonesia.
Indonesia will
Block
be
touch.
challenging it. Sigurado. Si Donnie Haryono na may touch. Nakita ko yung pag-simbolo niya sa kanyang coach. There's a check ball as Haryono is chatting it up with his teammate Sigit. Let's see if there is a block touch in this challenge.
Meron. Nagawag yung point finger.
Sigurado doon si Haryono. No?
Ladies and gentlemen, the challenge was successful.
Successful for Team Indonesia.
2 successful challenges for Team Indonesia in this game.
As we still have Rivan Nurmulki serving for Indonesia, their opposite hitter. Strong, sharper jump serve pair. So Maganagat Zinziu of Team Vietnam with that running hit. Let's see if they do get the point.
That's probably their 3rd running attack, and it has been effective
Oh.
for Vietnam.
But
There's a
this
net
time,
touch.
there's a net touch on
Oh.
that last play. So it's been awarded to the side of Team Indonesia. This inflates to a 3-point lead for Indonesia. The boys in blue and red. Boys in blue are having some trouble here.
But that service error cheers up Team Vietnam. Nakita natin, umikot sila. They really have to enjoy this game if they want to bring out their best game din.
You know, that's what I noticed in the second set. Vietnam was a bit more heavy.
Tensed,
Yeah, there's
oo.
like the tension inside the court.
Even when the game and the scores are close, parang hindi sila nag-enjoy as much as Indonesia is enjoying this game.
Now, they are just down by 1 point as we see Van Tien Duong on the service line. Serve from Van Tien Duong. But it is easily brought
At
back
the
to the
set's
side
first technical
with-
timeout,
of
the score
Indonesia
is
with
8-6.
Zulfi.
Indonesia with a
We now have a
lead.
technical timeout. Don't go away. We'll be back after a short break here at the 30th Southeast Asian Games.
End of the first
We're seeing
technical
our
timeout.
Capamillas inside the court. Really excited for the Team Pilipinas match and enjoying this match between Vietnam and Indonesia. We have, of course, members of Team Pilipinas present inside the court. Now, it's so interesting. Quickly, Mela, let's talk about the changes inside the Phil Sports Arena. It looks so different after the
Yes.
renovation.
It was my first time to, get inside yesterday, and I was like in a different place talaga.
Yeah, it looks world class, definitely.
Yeah.
I can't help but stare
Yeah.
at the facility as well. But back to our ball game, it's just a 1-point disadvantage for Vietnam as they go for that jump float picked up there. They go to that open tip coming from Sigit. On the other side, pupunta na quick, but the point goes to the side of the Indonesians.
The Vietnam players, signaling their coach to make a challenge. But
Let's see.
the coach
Will they?
did not respond.
Yeah, no challenge there from Team Indonesia as we now have number 10 Zulfi or Hemandas Zulfi.
Vietnam staying close in this set. we've seen another back row attack from their captain, 2-1. And before that, the score that they got was a combination play from the back row sa middle naman. So, you know, the back row attacks have been the ones gathering the score for Vietnam kasi yung mga front row attacks nila nabablock nitong Indonesia.
As we continue our ball game, back row attack from Rivan Normulki rather.
Rivan's percentage in that opposite back row attack has really been high all throughout this game. Never pa yata siyang na-check ng mga blockers dun sa kanyang back row attack.
In the second and third set, it's just his name that he's been mentioning. So far, 2-point advantage for Indonesia, trims down to 1 after that hit is too strong for Sigit.
It was a hard angle for Sigit kasi medyo wide yung set tapos nakahiga na siya, so it was hard for him to, you know, keep the ball down, and that attack went wide.
They go to a jump serve on the side of Vietnam. They go up to the open side. What a hit there. Coming from Rivan Normulki.
That attack dropped on the first line. As we take a look at this replay, look at the leap and the contact on that ball. It was really high, and although na-check yun, it was still too high and too strong for Vietnam to handle.
Just wow, Mela. What a hit there. But Vietnam answering back off the block.
Didn't go over.
It didn't go in. Rather, it was too low.
Yeah, Vietnam looking a bit frustrated in this match already. They don't know how to, you know, generate points. They've tried everything. Sometimes it works for them, pero they can't make a streak of points to stay close to Indonesia.
But what seems to be very interesting is Indonesia just, the game is just growing and growing. It's just becoming faster and faster as time goes by. As the sets go by, they seem more ferocious every minute, and that play is just a sign of what they could do. Randu just scoring it.
Indonesia looking very confident. The setter going to everyone he could, you know, set.
Timeout, Vietnam.
Really utilizing everyone.
We've seen a lot of names shine for the Team Indonesia.
Yeah, you're talking about their team captain, Nizar. But here is a timeout for Team Vietnam because this has inflated to a 5-point advantage, which might just be their biggest lead so far, especially at the early part of a set.
They need a leader other than Tutuan in Vietnam to just carry the team.
Yes.
Because in Indonesia, we've seen a lot of names. We have Rivan, Tamamilang, Zulfi even joining the scoring. Pero ito talaga si Nizar yung nagdadala ng game, and as a captain, you're expected to boost the confidence of your players, but as a setter as well, he's doing a good job giving the confidence that his spikers need.
I was going to mention that earlier we saw some moments that Siu will have those running attacks and it would be effective, but right now it's just been very simple plays for the side of Team Vietnam. Nothing too complicated, but maybe they have to go back to their foundations. That's what they're trying to do.
Back to basic nga sabi. Kasi kahit yung basic hasn't been really working for them.
Interesting.
Ito sayang yung block nila. We're able to check that, pero it went all the way out.
You know what's also confusing, I've noticed, with the setter of Indonesia, Nizar? May ipit. Oo, yung papunta na sa buhat pero hindi pa siya buhat, saktong ipit lang eh. And if you look at the way he sets, there's really that delay that really can confuse the blockers.
Substitution for Vietnam. Number 5 out, number 12, Nguyen Ding Yu In.
All they have to worry about is how to attack that ball. They don't have to worry about the blockers because definitely when Nizar sets them up, may nalilate talaga na blocker.
And right now, number 12, Nguyen Dinh Nu is put in.
Again, another great angle by Rivan. Kanina, yung mga opposite back row attacks niya has all been going to the cross court. Pero ito, yung kanyang front attack went down the line And it was a check ball in the hands of the blockers.
As Vietnam goes up to that opposite hit, and it is effective for Tu Tuan, who has been quite quiet here.
Sabi ni Tutuan, kaya niya rin daw yung ginawa nitong ni Rivan. He did the exact same thing. Opposite set going down the line.
Coach of Vietnam looking quite unhappy there. We're talking about Zhao Xuan Chung.
Again, the combination plays.
At the
Indonesia has
second
really been a
technical
problem for
timeout,
Vietnam.
it's
They are yet
16
to
to
find a
11 in
solution
favor of
for the
Indonesia.
attacks of Indonesia, kahit sa net defense or sa floor defense.
And Indonesia has been fired up here. We'll be back after the short break.
End of the second technical timeout.
Match continues here inside the Phil Sports Arena. We're seeing some members, and I'm guessing they're from the National University, supporting some of the members of the national team who are also proud nationalians. Siyempre.
I'm sure hindi lang yung Philippines yung sinusupport nila dahil for sure, idol din nila ito yung mga pinapanood
naman.
nila. Oo.
Siyempre.
International idol.
Tayo nga eh. Idol natin yung mga yan. Pero ikaw, idol ka naman ng lahat, Maylay.
Nako. Okay, back to the game.
Back to the game tayo. As ball game continues here. We have a hit there.
Indonesia starting to pull away in this match, and nakikita natin all their attacks are extra strong. The angles are really, very good from the attackers. Talagang Indonesia is feeling this game.
Haryono's serve goes straight to the net. It's Donny Haryono, their youngest member, who has been introducing himself here. And this third set, it is a 4-point lead for Team Indonesia as Vietnam serves. They go up, back row for Ivan. That is going out. The block is going out, rather.
Makita mo yung attack na yun from Rivan. Tinaas nila yung kamay niya and then it was all wrist action. Pero still, nakikita natin yung smarts because he really swiped it off the hands of the blockers.
And the angle, the trajectory of the ball was going straight to the tip of the hand. So, hindi makaka-press talaga itong Vietnamese players as Vietnam finds a campfire hole in the middle.
The first time in this match that the setter decided to drop the ball on a second touch.
Well, it's crucial moments for Team Vietnam now, Mela, if they want to proceed and try to extend this. But so far, Indonesia having that 4-point lead, the comfortable distance as they make it back to 5.
Again, Rivan has been unstoppable all throughout this match. We haven't heard other names so far doing the damage for their team. Rivan really the one stepping up.
If there's someone supporting, it's their youngest member, Haryono, but mostly it has been Rivan Nurmulki as Vietnam gets the point back on the side of their court from Tien.
Well, in the first set, it was Tamamilang versus Tu Tuan, and in the second and the third set, it has been a battle between Rivan and Tu Tuan.
So it's really the support of the other members of Team Vietnam that you're looking for here, Mela.
The attacks of Tu Tuan, they're all really so strong, pero not enough to stop the momentum that Indonesia has been making.
Well, it's hard if you're battling it alone and then you have members on the other side of the team who's fully
collective effort talaga.
effort.
Ang hirap kasi ng 4 points is to 1. Oo, mahirapan.
And it's not that we're taking anything away from the members of the Vietnamese squad. It's just that they seem to be not in check here
Yeah.
in this match because Indonesia has been firing and powering through, especially Ivan.
I mean, we've seen some glimpse from the other players of Vietnam, but it is really Tuan who's been scoring after the series of points that Indonesia has been making.
Yeah, like I would recall the running hits from Tiu.
Yeah.
So there's those glimpse of excitement for the side of the Vietnamese squad, but that's the problem. They also give away too much freebies as Indonesia gets a 3-point lead again. We now have Sigit on side of Team Indonesia. Serving. Straight to the libero. They go to a quick on the side of Vietnam. Answered back by Indonesia. Sasagot si Ivan. Ivan gets a point off the block. Look at that again. Perfect setup from Nizar connecting to another senior member, Ivan.
Substitution for Vietnam.
Again,
Number
we
18
have to
out.
commend the setter of
Number
Indonesia,
6,
Nizar.
Heng Hai In.
So setting up Rivan, those excellent sets. Nakita natin yung middle blocker ng Vietnam was already laid on that block.
Setup there, going to the opposite side for
Again,
Team Vietnam.
like I mentioned, it has been 2-1. You know, stopping the scoring of Indonesia.
Tu Tan Tuan doesn't get that across. That gets that across and finds that perfect spot.
Grabe yung angle. Since
Yeah.
nakita mo yung ano ng shoulder niya.
Iniwas niya.
Masakit yun.
Bali eh. Bali.
Oo. Well, it takes a lot of practice, a lot of ball control to do those kinds of attacks.
Pero ito,
Again, look at
firing through.
the body language in Vietnam. Every after nagpo-point yung Indonesia, they look really down.
And Indonesia just keeps on powering through
Yeah.
everything. They just demolish any obstacle that they have in front of them. As we saw Tony Haryono again scoring. Tony Haryono who replaced Tama Milang in the latter part of the second set.
Definitely, it just gets better and better for Vietnam, or Indonesia rather.
So there's that confidence that
Yeah.
their coach is giving to them, no?
Ito, nakita mo yung atake ni Riban again. Parang nadepensahan siya ng Vietnam. Parang nispin niya lang yun going to the other side of the court. But still, he managed to convert it to a
Timeout,
point.
Vietnam.
Now the coach of Vietnam will be calling his version of a timeout here. And so far, Mela, this is a very comfortable lead for Team Indonesia.
Yeah, 2 points away from taking this game, and it's just not a comfortable lead. It has been a comfortable game, all in all for Indonesia. It didn't seem like they had a, hard time because, like you said, it has been a collective effort talaga for Team Indonesia. So parang hindi natin sila nakikita na as frustrated as Team Vietnam because, the scoring is in shared load.
Unlike on the other side, you've been mentioning the name of their captain, Tu Tan Tuan, who's been carrying the load for the Vietnamese squad.
Yeah. And the Vietnam coach has already tried both the setters,
Yep.
but the tempo hasn't really changed that much. We've seen glimpse when they changed the setter, nagkaroon ng mga mas maraming middle attacks. Pero in terms of really generating points, hindi talaga masyadong nakakapag-collect itong Vietnam.
Well, there again, we saw Tu Tan Tuan just trying to convert there, but a block. That would be a game changer for the side of the Vietnamese squad.
Definitely feel-good
Timeout,
block
Indonesia.
against one of the main guns of Indonesia.
That came from Tien, denying Ivan. So it's quite interesting if this changes the complexion of the game because this is still possible. It's just a
Yeah.
3-point disadvantage for the Vietnamese squad. But Indonesia, when they regroup, when they come back inside the
We've
court.
seen good results every time
Definitely.
they regroup. But it's not too late for Vietnam to turn things around here in this set.
And that's what we have to wait for here.
And the fans in the arena nail-biting experience for them. Kasi the scores are close. In the first set, it was 20-25, and then second set, 22-25. So we really want to see how Vietnam can stay close in this game. However, that middle attack has no blockers for Indonesia, leading them to go on the match point.
Zulfi, who did not start, but is making also his presence felt here. It is now match point situation for the Indonesian squad. Serve coming from Indonesia, overcooked there. Point goes to the side of Team Vietnam. That came from Sigit, but this is still doable. 3-point disadvantage. As Vietnam goes for that jump serve that is overcooked, unfortunately.
Costly
error for Team Vietnam.
At the end of
ending
this
the
match,
game with an
Indonesia
error.
wins in straight sets,
And
25 to 20,
Indonesia
25
wins
to
it in
22,
3
and 25 to
straight
21.
sets. So it's going to be interesting, Mela, as to how these two squads will perform in the upcoming days. Pero yan ang ating aabangan. But when we return, Mela, we will break down this game furthermore only here at the 30th Southeast Asian Games Volleyball Tournament.